Hi, it's Jory Jardin, co-founder of BlogHer at BlogHer 14. And here with me today is Andra Liemandt.
Yes.
We were both going over the pronunciations of our last name. So Andra is part of a group who is helping us do something we've never done at BlogHer 14, and that is launch a single. Andra's band, The Misses, is here at BlogHer. They actually have an exhibitor booth, which several bloggers have already stopped me to tell me was worth the price of admission for BlogHer. We'll tell you about that in a minute. But in addition to the booth, you will be performing tomorrow. I get to introduce them. So I'm incredibly excited to hear that. Well, I heard the single, but to hear it live tomorrow at BlogHer.
We're excited to perform.
Thank you very much. Oh, thank you. How has it been so far?
Well, last night, the thing that I kind of compared it to was just one of these big all-girl slumber parties, like the funnest event I've ever been at, with all of these women coming up, both inspiring and inspirational to us and to them. I mean, it just was one of these nights where I really felt this harmony between women, where we were sharing life stories about how they started their careers, their blogs, learning about each other, and really helping each other to kind of grow as people, but then them learning about our project and everybody really connecting. It was just really, really, really powerful.
I see what you do as being so in line with what bloggers do, because you weren't satisfied with the way things were, so you developed your own platform, in this case, your own band.
Yeah.
So what makes the Misses different than anything else?
Well, we're definitely not traditional in any sense of the word. We really wanted to write music that connects with women like you and me. Write music that was something that was about, careers, marriage, friendships, things that we did every day, just stuff that we weren't hearing on the radio. And so we kind of set out to do that, like our song Enough. And that was just one facet that really set us apart. And the other thing is we kind of really thought if this was the vehicle, the music was the vehicle that kind of put our messages out there, how else could we do that? And we thought, well, we should do this in a way which was our magic mirror. And that's what other place could we do that, but with a group of women who would connect with us, like BlogHer. That's another way that we could do it. And so that's non-traditional route of releasing our first single and doing it here was this beautiful place with this beautiful people was BlogHer.
And let's talk about that video, because I saw it and it got me weepy. It happens at BlogHer, but your video falls right in line with what we absolutely love, great content. You're doing that in essence on the show floor, but talk a bit about the video and how that introduces the song.
So the video is really a way for us to share with the world what we did in a weekend within Austin. And what we wanted to do was kind of highlight some unsung heroes in and within Austin and surrounding areas. These women that were teachers, that were just, moms out there in the trenches doing what we all do, but maybe didn't even know that, that people were appreciating them and all that they did. And so we wanted to take time to tell them how beautiful and how wonderful they were, how smart, how much that they did all day long that mattered. And simply by putting them in front of a mirror and telling them thank you, and how beautiful their spirit, their heart, the love that they gave to their children, and how important they were. It was surprising how many of these women just didn't even know that they were appreciated like that. That weekend, we captured it, and we thought this would be a way to at least touch the lives in Austin, and that was powerful. But let's get it out there. Let's put it out there in a way so big that everybody can be touched. And that's why we put it in a video, so that everybody could see it.
And one of the many things I thought was so remarkable about that video was each of these women had great stories.
Yeah.
And you would never have known that. And you unearthed that. And you even, in some cases, got the families there to be there and acknowledge them, which gets me a little weepy thinking about it. But it was so powerful.
It was very powerful. And the work that went into getting them there and the families that truly wanted to make this happen for those women was so remarkable. I mean, they cared so much about making sure that these women knew how valued they were. It was just all around so loving, and that whole weekend was so powerful for them that they have said that they never will look at themselves the same in the mirror. And to me, I thought if this project were to end, which I would never want it to, but if it was to end after that weekend, I will have felt that we had done what we had set out to do. But I wanted to touch lives, the band. We want to touch women's lives in that way so that all women can feel what we were able to touch that weekend. And those few women, to let them know, because there's so many women out there that are like them, that need to know how beautiful and how powerful and how strong and how smart and all these things that they are.
So let's talk for a minute about your bandmates.
Yes.
How does someone gather up for like-minded women and say, let's start a rock band?
Well, that's been a journey in and of itself. I think that as moms and wives and career women, we're all very busy, and finding that unique balance is hard. And I think that finding time to have a passion that maybe doesn't really make sense in all of that is hard. And finding women that are willing to take that leap of faith with you is hard too. And I was lucky enough to find some very beautiful people to do that with me. And I can tell you that they are some of my very best friends. And, the band started off as a journey with a lot of girls. And through that journey, it has evolved over time and has been something to someone different in the band. And it is now what it has become with the 5 girls that are in the misses today. And it is such a beautiful project because it started with 9 girls just learning music. And over time, those women have all learned and gained something through this experience. And now, at the misses, the stage it's at now, it has become something so different, but it is a career. Not all the women wanted to have a career in music because as busy wives and mothers, not everybody could do that.
Absolutely. I think it gets harder and harder the more entrenched you are.
The more entrenched you are. And I can tell you, I've had a lot of conversations with the bloggers here today, and a lot of them said, the balance is the hardest thing. And with the friendships and with husbands and with children of having that validation to do what you want to do in life. And I really found it very important to me that when I found this in my life, it came to me. I didn't go out saying, I want to be a drummer. I'm going to start an all-girl band. That didn't happen. It just kind of fell into my lap as something that came over time. And when I decided it was pretty important to me, which I have to say I fought it for a long time, and when it became very important to me, I had to fight for it. I had to fight to keep it in my life because there's a lot of reasons to say this doesn't make sense.
I was so blown away watching the 5 of you because you all seem like you've been at this for a lifetime, and yet, as you say, you had to fight for this experience. Were you always wanting to be a musician?
No, I think I always had a desire to learn music, and especially being in Austin, it's hard not to want to be in that scene. And I've always had an admiration for musicians, but I have a dance background, and I've always loved that whole, everything about music. But the drums, believe me, if I could pick an instrument, it might not have been the drums. They're hard to carry around. There's a lot of moving parts and a lot of moving limbs, so I can't say that would be my instrument of choice. If people say, I need to find my passion in life. I need to find that. And I would say, sit back and let it happen. Because if I was going to go and seek out what's happening for me in my life, this probably wouldn't have been my journey. My journey would have been something else. Mm-hmm. It would have been guitar. It would have been bass, because you can just throw that in a case and walk around with it, But, I let it happen. And it became something that I started having conversations with my husband that was, this is important to me. And for some reason, I don't know why, but I can't live without it. Do you support me in this? And that's the conversations I believe women need to start having in their life. Mm-hmm. When it doesn't make sense in your life, in your marriage, with your family, and it's maybe not bringing in income, or it's not a contributing factor, it's not bringing in groceries, or it's not whatever it's doing, is figuring out a way that it is feeding your soul in a way that it does make sense, and allowing that conversation to happen between your husband and you, to how to make it fit in, because we have to take time to figure out how to make our lives happy, so that when we do look in the mirror and when we do try to seek out, are we happy? Do we feel we are enough every day, at every phase of our life, at every day of our life? Am I okay with me? Do I like me? Do I like me tomorrow? We have to say, yes, I live with me every day. I like me, and I like me better as a drummer. I do. I might not get me, because that's really weird, and I wish I didn't like it.
A lot of women here at BlogHer would relate to that, who have just taken on new identities as these, whatever it is they're blogging about. They never envisioned it before. I'm sure they're inspired.
Right, and it's, it's a story that you're like, 5 years ago, I was just making a phone call trying to find piano lessons for my daughter, and here I am. The intention was not to find drum lessons or to be in a band, but here I am with some amazing people, everyone who has been on this project, from the band. The band is beautiful, wonderful women who have been on this journey fighting for it just like me, and these people that have, through blood, sweat, and tears, helped to fight to get this project up off the ground, to help get the mirror working right, and all the little things. They believe in it because they change too, because they see what it can do for people. And, I have a dream, and call me ridiculous, but I have a dream that one day this project will exist in schools. It will go beyond whatever I'm doing now, but it will go into schools, helping not only our youth to not have to change that voice inside their head, but we'll start there so that we don't have to change anything, but we will start there having a positive message for children where they will learn to see themselves in this positive way. And then maybe even they will be the voice, and they will start positive attitude, and we can stop this bullying in school, and we'll have positive environments in our school. We can create this environment for them. And as a mother of 2 girls, that's really important to me. And this journey helps me see. I just keep seeing avenues open up and partnerships open up for me where I think this could happen. And I believe. I'm a dreamer. I would have never thought I could be on a stage playing drums. That's not where I want to be. That scares me. Behind a camera or any of this, it's not what I wanted. But this is where I am, and I'm loving every minute of it because I believe in this project, and I believe in what we're doing.
Well, you're in the perfect place, because there are a lot of dreamers around here. What excites you the most about being here at BlogHer this weekend?
I believe that I am learning so much, because every blogger that I've talked to, I feel like I'm going to be a little overwhelmed when I get home, because there's so many women I've met that have exciting blogs. So I feel I'm going to be inundated with catching up on all the blogs now that I need to read, and all these. I feel like I'm meeting people that I want to be friends with, that I want to stay connected with, and I really feel like it's a sisterhood here. It's a sisterhood of women supporting each other that I know you created, and I know that I think that was amazing that it just started simply by having a coffee and a dream you had. And I think that is so inspirational. And I think all these women are here because of you, and that's beautiful. And I'm inspired by all these women and by you and what you've done. And I'm honored to be here and all of that.
Well, thank you. I can entirely relate to your story with female co-founders starting a movement. And just watching it, I can just see the energy. I can see it. It's very familiar. I am excited for you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.